Hello there, I'm Drew with the Bakersfield Sound Company, and today we're going to show you the best new compressor pedal that you need. Stay tuned. There are many great compressor pedals on the market, and while they all aim to give you a similar end result, the options they give you and the tone that you actually get out of it can vary drastically. There's a lot of people that don't use a compressor pedal, and a lot that don't know why to use a compressor pedal. But before we get too far, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and hit the little bell icon so that you can be notified for future videos. When we play our instruments, we experience volume change based on how hard or how soft we hit our strings. When playing in a band setting, sometimes we'll notice that we can get lost in a mix, or even be too loud on some parts. Or maybe you're using a guitar that doesn't sustain well and you're looking to get a little bit more length out of your notes. Maybe you just need to hit the front end of your amp harder. Enter the Strymon Compadre. This is a brand new pedal from the amazing left brain artists at Strymon. But aside from being a world-class stopbox compressor, it is also a boost that can be used independently for up to 14 decibels of boost action. Let's take a brief look at what this compressor offers. You get 4 knobs, 2 micro switches, and 2 foot switches. The right side of the pedal controls the compressor function, while the left side, minus the dry knob, is the boost. These circuits work independently of each other, allowing you multiple options for staging and tones. The micro switch controls 2 compressor styles, a smoother vintage rack style studio compressor and a harder squeeze that reacts more like a guitar pedal would normally. The big knob control acts as a threshold, all the way counterclockwise, and you have 0 compression applied. As you turn clockwise, you lower the threshold of the compressor. When you lower threshold on a compressor, you will end up lowering the volume as you squash your signal lower in its dynamic range. This is why a level knob is on all compressors. It makes up the gain you lose and brings up the entire volume on the now compressed sound. You will generally want your total output to match the original volume. We're only wanting to squash the signal, not boost it. Yet. The most important feature on a modern stop compressor is the availability of a dry knob. The only problem with the compressed sound is it no longer sounds natural. This can cause your playing to feel flat and boring, unless you really want to squash that sound if you're going to do some chicken picking, or you really like the feeling of getting all the air sucked out of a room. By increasing the dry signal, you are adding back your original guitar's signal. Wet is the process signal, and dry is the original signal. When you combine the two, you begin to notice a very compelling and controlled sound. There are dynamics and compression, all while sounding more natural to the ear. On the boost circuit, we are given the option of how much boost and what type of EQ. The thing that stands out to me the most is the functionality of the boost EQ. You get 3 modes of EQ, which include treble, mid, and flat. They each manipulate the EQ of your instrument beautifully while retaining transparency and boosted tone. They can even be run without boost if you would like to just EQ out some problems with your guitar. The treble selection boosts your mids and highs, which will tighten up your bottom end of your sound. This is extremely helpful when using a very thick or dark sounding pickup by balancing the signal here first before you go any further in your chain. The mid selection will push your mid-range harder, which is a great way to add that feeling of highs and lows without sounding shrill or chubby. You get a fat sounding instrument with the ability to cut. Lastly, on this micro switch is a flat selection, which keeps your EQ just the way it is and solely boosts your compressed or non-compressed signal. On the back of the pedal, we have another switch that gives us even more control over the boosted tone. This allows you to boost cleanly or even add some drive to your boosted signal and use it as a serious lead option or simply as a standalone drive pedal. The more you raise the boost knob, the more dirt you will achieve. Now that the actual boost knob itself does give you 14 decibel of boost, which is a lot, like I mentioned, the brilliant artists at Strymon gave us independent control. This allows you to gain stage in multiple ways. Maximizing as they do best, the backside is loaded with inputs, outputs, and like. You have your standard input and output, but you also have the use of a TRS expression pedal to even use as a full-time volume pedal. Lastly, you have the ability to chain it with MIDI switching, allowing up to 300 MIDI presets or 3 with their own MIDI switching system. Strymon is one of the best companies on the market to truly give you price justification for product value. This pedal is an absolute masterpiece for the front end of your signal chain and bolsters the reputation of Strymon. Is it a compressor? Is it an EQ? Is it a boost? Is it a volume pedal? Is it a drive pedal? Yes! And it's good at doing all of them. I've got a little setup ready to show you what the Compadre does and how it could benefit your playing. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using an LSL TBone 1, a working man's Fender Deluxe Reverb, and double mic'd with a Sennheiser MD421 and E906. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using simple strumming and picking so you can really hear the effect. Now you could take hours and dive into this pedal with different guitars and different effects and really try and hear what this pedal can do. What I want to do today is show you some of my favorite features and highlight them so you can really hear how this pedal is the best compressor pedal for you on the market. To accurately hear what the compressor is doing, I've decided to take the human element out of playing each time. The Strymon timeline is here to help this compadre by utilizing the timeline's amazing loop feature, allowing this test to have the exact same dynamics for each pass. First, I will solely be going through the compression knob on each compression setting, without using the makeup level. This way you can really hear what the compressor is doing at the level of compression we set it to. Secondly, we will do a similar test, but this time adding in stages of dry signal to compare with the 2 stages of compression. Third, I will put it on my favorite always on type of setting that I would use throughout my gig. While this setting is engaged, I will demonstrate the boost feature on all 3 EQ settings. First, let's take a look at the compressor. I will be moving back and forth between a bypass signal and the affected signal. Let's start adding in some dry signal in stages, this time without bypassing. Here's my favorite way to achieve an always-on type of compression. This is around what I would normally play, give or take based on the guitar I'm using. This is a good setting to really highlight the boost feature. Now I'm not going to be demonstrating the clean side of the boost. I know. It's amazing, really. And if you would like to hear what it sounds like at any point during this demo, just turn your speaker volume up, as long as you have headroom. It's perfectly transparent gain increase, I promise. It's amazing. We will be demonstrating the amazing tone of the dirty option and hear what the EQ option do for that tone. We will hear our bypass tone and then get into our boost stages. We got to see how the Strymon Compadre is an absolute arsenal for the front end of your signal chain and will help you sit better in the mix. Comment below, what is your favorite compressor pedal and what compressor pedal would you like to see us demo up against the Strymon Compadre? Like and subscribe for future content, and thank you guys again. We'll see you next time.